transfer portal loss or flip for the Gators as five-star safety Xavier Fizeme out of McKinney, Texas, flipped from the Florida Gators to the Texas Longhorns after yet another losing season in Gainesville. He believes Texas will be a better situation for him. The JU Dolphins men's basketball team overcame a 14-point deficit to get the victory over Louisiana Monroe on Monday afternoon. Their next game will be on Thursday on the road against Purdue. At your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
At 9:58, it's 46 degrees. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
We're still in first place, I think. Fourth in the AFC. We got a chance to, accomplish a goal that we set out to do, and that's to win the AFC South. Obviously, we're making it hard on ourselves, but we have to stay focused on that.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jeff Lageman, and
hold my pocket,
Dylan Denmark.
So you're saying there's a chance right there. That's better, Tony, than I felt a little depressed that Leon Searcy taking everybody to class and lecturing them in yesterday's Open. Doug is right. They're in first place. It doesn't feel good, but feelings don't matter when it comes to the National Football League standings. Beat Tampa Bay, and we'll all feel fine on Sunday.
Yeah, look, it is the way that you expect an NFL team to deal with it, even if the fan base right now feels like everything is slipping through their fingers, and there are good reasons to feel that way. I would expect the locker room this week to be exactly what you heard there from Coach Peterson, right? Trying to get these guys back on the right track, expressing confidence. Hey, guys, we're still in an okay situation. We got to turn it around now. The opportunity's still there in front of you to accomplish what we set out to accomplish to begin the year. Like all those things, I think that should be the message coming out of the locker room. It doesn't mean that we're going to have a whole lot of fans that are going, yeah, I believe, right? Like it's just not going to have a whole lot of that here over the last 3 weeks of the year.
Yeah, by the way, you look very handsome sitting in that chair. I don't know if I look that good in that chair. Logs, I'm coming to you from my own personal duck blind this morning, but happy to be with you on this Check the Tape Tuesday. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, doing well. Doing well on this fantastically cold Tuesday.
It is. Is this your kind of weather? Do you like it? My wife loves it when it's in the 50s.
Well, I like it, and here's the best part, Mike. Usually I come up in here and my shorts and my T-shirt, and it's not quite as cold as today. And I come into the studio, and you're wearing long sleeve sweatshirt and sweatpants, and you've got the heat turned up to like 75.
Sometimes.
So it's kind of nice today. Me and Tony actually have it nice and cool in here today.
Yeah. I usually max it out at 74 in the studio, but that's all right. I'm an older guy. Our blood thins out, Log, so when we get to senior citizenship like myself. But, look, man, it's not a good time, obviously, surrounding this football team. This performance was maybe as frustrating as the two before it were, Jeff, even though those were one-score games and you could look at any one play here or there turning the tide and being the difference in the outcome. I just felt like it was so many self-inflicted wounds on this team that we didn't really have a clear picture of just how competitive they can be with the Baltimore Ravens. I'll give the Ravens credit. They won the game. They won the game by multiple scores. Had the Jags been in that position, we would have gone blah, blah, blah. But man, it just seemed like they couldn't get out of their own way the other night.
Yeah, I think every week it's a little bit different, but it's kind of the same theme, right? Where the self-inflicted wounds, beating yourselves, however you want to term it, and it continued again in this game. You lost a couple situations where you could have gained points early in the first half. A couple missed field goals, and then just a terrible clock management at the end of the first half. You had 3 false starts as an offense, and you had a quarterback in the last quarter of the game that clearly wasn't himself, and that's never a good recipe for getting wins. And something's got to change as a team. The week before you had 4 giveaways as an offense and then 3 explosive plays as a defense because you had communication errors, and you had communication errors on offense. So the one positive, I think, out of this game is that some of the communication things were cleaned up, but at the end of the day, it's still kind of that theme, and you got to flip the script.
Look,
Yeah,
Trevor
no doubt.
Lawrence, Demps, Trevor Lawrence is concussion protocol now. We'll see if he's going to be able to play on Sunday. You mentioned, especially the last quarter of the game, basically, there were obviously issues going on with the quarterback. When you look back at the tape from Sunday night, what are the issues that you're looking at there, and how did you feel about his performance overall, even in the first 3 quarters of that game Sunday?
Well, his performance wasn't very good, plain and simple. I mean, if you had to put a letter grade on it, you'd give it a D. I think he got concussed. And, look, I'm not an expert, and I don't know. And the only one that knows is Trevor. But if you look at the game and you watch the tape and you evaluate his performance, I think it happened on the intentional grounding play at the end of the third quarter.
His head gets slammed down pretty good there.
He gets whipped. The whiplash back of the helmet hits the turf. And then if you looked at the ensuing pass plays, the next time he does throw the ball, he has a short completion to Ridley, and then I tracked him. Incomplete, and that one was on a 3rd and 2 to Evan Ingram. If you guys will remember, he had pressure coming, but it wasn't imminent. And he rushed the throw, and it was wide to the right, and he missed Evan, and he had a defensive tackle dropping out. If he just stays in there for another split second, he's fine. He can make the throw to Evan. The one after that was to Zay Jones that wasn't an accurate throw. The one after that was to Ridley, and we were like, where was that ball going? Okay, now I don't know if that was Ridley or if that was Trevor. And then the one after that was the sack-caused fumble where, it's 3rd and 7 with about 7:45 to play in the game, and you got all 3 timeouts. You got to punt it. You got to eat the ball and then live to play another series because you still have plenty of time to get the ball back, but he tried to do too much.
And then he started running.
Yeah,
basically the last half of the fourth quarter.
And that's fine, but the first half, where he lost control of the ball, it's a 3rd and 17. A 3rd and 17, if you're going to run it, fine. Okay, but now all of a sudden you got to realize it's 3rd and 17, and you're not going to be a hero. Okay,
right.
And then at the end of the first half, I put that on coaching. I do. They've got to be in his helmet at that point and say, clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it. That's all you got to do is tell him that. And then you can line up, and you got multiple plays after you calm things down and you talk about it and come up with your best play instead of risking having the clock run out on you. Which is exactly what happened in the play that was called. You had 2 guys that were in the end zone and 2 guys that were in the flat. And if you're going to have that play called, it's got to be thrown into the end zone. It can't be thrown into the flat. So, but to me, it doesn't matter. It's got to be clocked in that situation.
Well, I mean, Doug Peterson seemed to allude to yesterday that was obviously a decision, and you could tell Trevor was calling something out as he's running down the field, Lodge, right?
Yeah,
he's giving them the signal that we're going, right? And, it seemed that Doug Peterson just indicated yesterday, like, look, that ball needs to be in the end zone or out of the end zone. Yes, that's the play, but you can't make that play, he seemed to indicate yesterday. Said basically it was the same exact play that they scored on Baltimore down the stretch last year with the Marvin Jones touchdown. And either way, we can debate that and talk about the decision to go for it. But you talk about communication, Jeff. I don't see how it gets a whole lot better this week with Zay Jones with a late-game hamstring injury. You got to suspect he's probably not going to be available 1 week later with a hammy. I mean, I'm hoping that's the case that he would be, but if you get out there and Calvin Ridley's your top guy and there have been miscommunications, then you're talking about Tim Jones, Elijah Cooks, along with Parker Washington. Could we be in for an even heightened game where these guys are not quite on the same page?
Well, it could be, and who's your quarterback? So now
that's another thing.
Now
sure.
you bring up another part of the communication thing there with the quarterback situation. But I mean, I would be surprised if Trevor is able to come out of the protocol. I mean, that's one of those things that
I think one player this year has. I think Brock Purdy had a concussion on Sunday and played the next week, but I think that's the only one so far this year.
Yeah, this one's going to be curious to watch. It's just not very typical that a player has a concussion, especially a high-profile one, at that position. So, but we'll see. You never know. But Mike, you're right. I mean, it's you're going to be playing with a lot of guys that have not had a lot of reps, and you're going to be playing with probably a quarterback who has had hardly any reps. With any of the the only good thing is
the
saving
reps
grace
he's
is
gotten
the
are
reps
with
he's
those
gotten
guys.
with
Yeah.
those guys,
right,
to some extent, and also with the ones that are on the practice squad. But
Elijah Cook's breakout incoming.
Well,
Here
you hope. But here's the thing. Elijah Cooks has been on the roster all year, and you've had injuries already to wide receiver, and his number hasn't been called. So that makes you kind of question, okay, where's his progress at? Your offensive line limped through that game at the left side. I give them credit. Walker Little and Ezra Cleveland, they gutted it out. Give them a badge of courage, Medal of Honor, whatever you want to say. In football, I don't want to confuse that with any kind of military distinction because it's not the same. But look, give them credit. They fought, they battled, and Ezra clearly was ailing with the knee, and then you could tell that the hamstring took away a lot of Walker Little's power at trying to stop the power rushes. But they battled through, and there were some other components of the offensive line that weren't great, but this week is going to be a little bit of a challenge just because who's going to play where and how.
And we're going through all the issues that they could be facing in the pass game. That doesn't even begin to touch really on the issues that they currently have in the run game, which are massive, right? And you would feel maybe okay a little bit going into this Tampa game if, okay, Trevor's not going to be able to go this week, but Etienne's rolling and the offensive line is opening up a hole every now and then and the pass blocking's good. It's that a lot of the things on offense feel like they're falling apart here for the last month of the season.
Well, and typically when you have the issues that you have, and we talked about this a little bit before the game, okay, the communication, the timing is off in the passing game. Okay, well, let's go back to the foundation of our offense, which is, running the football, good performance up front, but you really don't have that as an offense. And I think that creates an issue. And now all of a sudden you're battling more injuries. And if you change the quarterback, okay, well, the new quarterback, C.J. Beathard, what does he have foundation-wise to step into? Well, the foundation is him because this is a quarterback-centric offense. This is because the running game really hasn't gotten going. And Etienne is, part of it is Etienne, part of it is the offensive line, part of it is the commitment to the run. And all three of those things together are making it incredibly difficult for this team to find success on the ground. And against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're pretty good against the run, which is going to be a little bit of an issue this week if you try to go to that as your foundation.
All right, if you hear Jeff Logman's voice on this program, you're pretty safe in assuming it's a Check the Tape Tuesday, so that's exactly what we're dealing with right here. If you'd like to get in today, hit us up on the All Pro Roofing phone lines at 641-1010 with your questions or comments for Jeff, Jaguar related, mostly. 641-1010 on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can hit us up on social media. I'm watching you, Pockets, by the way. I see Pockets right now. I'm just monitoring him. Are you feeling good, Pockets, after Jalen Hurts made a run at you last night?
No, we good, man. We good.
Right,
2 picks in the
good.
fourth quarter. We were safe.
All right.
I'm safe.
Just checking on your fantasy football state of mind right there. So hit us up in the YouTube chat. Hit us up on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Logs56, or at 1010XL Denmark.
Hold my pocket.
All right, there you go. All right, Check the Tape Tuesday. Obviously, a lot to get into. We don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday. And as we mentioned yesterday at the outset of the show, doing all this in the understanding that we hope that everything is just absolutely fine with Trevor Lawrence and everybody else who's banged up for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But it's not going to stop us from looking back and giving you our honest commentary on how we felt that they played this weekend. So you know how to be a part of the program today. Send your questions and comments in or hop on the phone lines and get in live with Logs today. It's a Check the Tape Tuesday. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jeff Logman, and Dylan Denmark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Tuesday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Connect with 1010XL.
On the line, online, with your friends. Now everyone's exchanging ideas.
Find 1010XL on your social channels.
More than qualified to handle your roof. Call J&M and we'll show you. our customers and they all say only one way to go, the J&M way.
We take pride in doing quality work at a fair price. And you can finance your new roof for as low as $139 per month. J&M Roofing, under the umbrella. Call 904-337-0509.
License number CCC 1331951.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about being a peacemaker. Friends, so often we can only want to help people who are in our inner circle. But God never had inner circles. The world was his inner circle, and he's depending on us to make a difference and to leave our mark in this life. So go out today receiving his peace and then sharing it with the world.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
What? They did not tell me they were going to do that. I need a new bank.
Well, actually, One-to-One Financial doesn't do the usual bank surprises because we're not a bank. We're a credit union. And that means lower loan interest, things like free checking and member rewards, and of course, total investment back into our community.
I'm sold.
Find a better way to bank than big banks with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit 121fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Are you ready for the ultimate happy hour experience? Look no further than Bellwether, downtown's undisputed champion of good times. It's Tuesday through Saturday from 4 to 7 p, with the exception on Friday when happy hour starts at 11 a.m. Rally the team and head over to Bellwether. The vibe is full and the food is unbeatable. Free parking after 6 p on weekdays and all weekend. Bellwether Restaurant, where great food and the best happy hour in town come together for an epic win.
Every weekend is a Stone Cold Sports Weekend. Hey, Dan Hicken here. Watch for the Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll help you put together your sports weekend. Weekend with Dan brought to you by Stone Core. We do the outdoors better.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Here's a special message from our president.
Thanks, David. This is Jordan Harrington, president of Royal Pest Services. We'd like to thank everyone who has trusted Royal Pest for their pest control needs this year. Wishing all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from the Royal Pest family.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Now, the Tire Outlet Drive of the Game. Tire Outlet, wholesale prices, premium service.
When the Jags need a bit of swag on the offensive side of the ball, you can rest assured that Trevor Lawrence will always have the keys to an impressive drive. The young phenom led Jacksonville on a 5-play, 88-yard drive, capped off by Jamal Agnew's 65-yard touchdown, making the score 10-7 with 7:15 left in the period. The 2-minute, 59-second drive is your Tire Outlet Drive of the Game.
Is your vehicle in need of some TLC? Bring it to the experts at Tire Outlet. With over 40 years of experience and 15 locations across Florida, Tire Outlet is the brand you can trust. Our certified technicians do the job right to get you in and out in no time flat. Hurry in for great deals on tires and automotive service. We offer free tire rotations, free brake inspections, rebate offers on brand name tires, and a legendary price match guarantee on every set of brand new tires. Tire Outlet, wholesale prices, premium service.
Football season means time on the couch and plenty of big games on the TV. Well, Florida Home AC knows you might be hitting the thermostat every time your team goes for the win. With family and friends hanging out for 4 quarters or more, the heating and AC unit will be working overtime. Stay cool with Florida Home AC. A simple phone call to 777-4300 and make sure your unit is primed for the fall when temps change constantly. Order a tune-up and enjoy the season. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman Tuesday on Jaguars Today is brought to you by Mr. Sparky of the First Coast, your on-time electrician on 1010XL.
All right, Jaguars Today on this Check the Tape Tuesday. Mike Dempsey, Jeff Lageman, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. You know, Logs, you're talking about Elijah Cooks there and may have to step up and play a larger role, and then we'll see if he's ready for it. And you mentioned, well, they see him in practice every day, right? And, you know, we get these kind of questions all the time. In fact, we got one yesterday, which was hard for me to accept, but why haven't the Jags given Nathan Rourke a chance, Jeff? I guess they will not have that issue lingering over them anymore, as the New England Patriots claimed him off of waivers yesterday. But beyond the absurdity, at least in my mind, of the question of why Nathan Rourke doesn't get a chance to prove he's better than Trevor Lawrence, you know, I get those kind of questions all the time. Like, you've been through a million practices. Coaches want to win in the NFL. They're not hiding players that they think are better. I mean, I understand there's politics sometimes with contracts and things like that, but I got to believe Doug Peterson and his staff are pulling out every possible stop to win football games, right?
Oh, absolutely. The Nathan Rourke, though, that's a big deal right now. I mean, if you go into this game, let's say Trevor can't play, now you have C.J. Beathard, who, let's not forget, when he came in relief a couple games ago, he had a shoulder injury.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if Trevor is out, who's going to play next if something happens to C.J. Beathard if Trevor's inactive?
Whoever they sign in the next day.
Going to have to sign somebody, right?
Yeah, that's you know, was that the right way to handle that? I mean, with the new rules that you have, you know, with Trevor having a high ankle and knowing your backup had a shoulder issue, was that the way to go about the management at that position? I don't know, but maybe you're just assuming that nobody's going to claim them. Well, there's quarterback-needy teams out there that are willing to take a look at anybody, especially somebody who set some records up in the CFL and really just hasn't had an opportunity, but had a really good performance in the preseason. So that's a tough one right there now. That's a tough loss just because of the security situation of it.
Sure. But, you know, the suggestion was basically, why doesn't Nathan Rourke get a look if Trevor isn't playing well? Like, come on.
Crazy. Yeah,
right. Crazy. That's the aspect that I think is crazy. You know, look, even if they didn't put him on the active roster, sign him to the active roster, and then waive him to sign him back to the practice squad, he would have been on the practice squad and eligible to be signed by another team anyway. Now, the Jags may have said to him, hey, you know, stay here for these reasons, but it would have been somewhat out of their hands if he decided that the situation was better. Like, if he said, hey, you know what, if I get up to New England, maybe I'll get a chance if Bailey Zappi stumbles. I'm not going to get a chance to play except because of injury in Jacksonville. So they might have lost him anyway, even if he had been back on the practice squad. You just don't know.
Maybe,
you
but
know?
you know, the one thing about on the practice squad is the player's choice if
Right.
they leave. Okay, when you go on the waiver wire, it's not your choice.
I got it. I totally understand it. I'm just saying he may have chosen to say, hey, I think I'm closer to actually playing meaningful football up there. Like, you know, Mac Jones, they decided it looks like that they're moving on from. So Zappi has played fairly well the last couple of weeks, but let's say he got hurt or whatever. I just feel like next year's opening day starter in New England is to be determined. In Jacksonville, it's determined, right? And that's all I'm saying.
Right. It would have been nice to have him just because he's familiar with the system.
Sure.
You know, he's a guy that from me just watching him, I think at the very least he's a quality backup in this league. I'm talking a quality backup. So, but, you know, it is what it is, and good for him because, you know, look, this team still, you know, has some positive things and feelings about him. And now he's going to get an opportunity to go elsewhere and get in front of another coaching staff, which is good for his career.
All right, shall we get to the phone lines for the first time today? It is a Check the Tape Tuesday. If you'd like to get in, 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines. Just keep it reasonably succinct and clean, certainly, for Jeff Lageman here with your Jaguar questions or concerns. We'll begin with Kevin on the South Side this morning on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning. Hey, Jeff. Tank Bixby. With his capacity, not. I think maybe he's playing special teams, but can't we go to Buffalo's practice squad and bring back Leonard Fournette? He's a proven commodity. Can catch the ball. I mean, that would. I mean, my opinion would upgrade the running game. What do you think?
Well, let me say this about the running game. First of all, if you're going to fix the running game, I think you need to be better up front first and foremost, and then also you have to have a commitment to it. But right now, that's not where this team is at. I mean, this team right now is a pass-first team.
Yeah, the running backs got 7 carries on Sunday night.
And Bigsby had 1 carry for -2 yards. I don't think it's a matter of changing the running backs out. I think it's, it's being committed to the run. It's also a matter of improving the performance of the blocking up front. And I don't think that, look, could you put Marcus Allen back there and be better? Probably going to be a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, I mean, not at the age that he's at now, but in his prime. But, Leonard Fournette's not going to fix the running game here. I mean, that's just kind of how it is.
Jeff, it felt like the back-to-back divisional wins against Tennessee and Houston, that they were committed to at least trying to run the ball, right? Like they felt like they were in that kind of groove in the offense at that point. It wasn't particularly effective, but they kept going to it, right? They didn't give up on it. Like it has felt like they've given up on it basically in the last 3 weeks during this losing streak. The offensive line, maybe you have pieces that are moving in and out, so you feel a little bit worse about it now than you did when you were winning those back-to-back divisional games, but I don't think the changes have been drastic enough that that's a reason to try to run the ball as little as they have the last 3 weeks.
No, and look, when you talk about fixing something like that, I mean, that's an off-season fix.
Yeah.
It's not – I mean, can you get a little bit better now? Sure. I thought at the beginning of the game against Baltimore on Sunday night, I thought they were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They came out and they were physical. They were doing a good job of moving some people. And then it kind of just – I don't want to say it just stopped, but it just drifted away a little bit. The intent and then also the performance drifted off a little bit. And is this something that's going to be an easy fix? Look, I've mentioned this before. You go back to the Indianapolis Colts when they won a Super Bowl with Tony Dungy and they couldn't stop anybody running the ball. And, Mike, you point out about Bob Sanders being a big part of that, being added at the safety position, and that was part of it. So personnel's got to have something to do with it. But that's a hard thing to fix in the middle of the season, especially when you have an offensive line, the left side, that's ailing, okay? And the center part of your offensive line hasn't been particularly strong in run blocking so far this year anyway. So, this is kind of a situation where it is what it is, and it's a quarterback-centric offense, and this offense is going to go as the quarterback goes. And if Trevor doesn't play well, as he didn't on Sunday night, this team is not going to fare well as it did on Sunday night.
All right, okay, they're not running it well, but we also hear about, you still have to be committed to it because you have to preserve the possibility of play action. I mean, obviously, like Tony was saying, they seem to have reached a point in the second half of these games where, I don't even know if it's worth trying to trick anybody because nobody's being tricked here. Etienne combined in the last 2 weeks has run for negative yardage in the second half. So, Jeff, do they have to show it just to, slow down the pass rush just a little bit in the hopes of maybe popping one or, just so you don't have guys teeing off on whoever is playing quarterback, even if it's not effective? Do they still have to have a somewhat balanced approach just to, quote unquote, keep the defense honest?
Yes, but I think what's up for debate is what's that number of balance?
Right.
What's the percentage, that you're trying to achieve? I mean, a lot of people sit there and go, 50%. Well, I mean, for some teams, yeah. For this team, though, I think, running the ball's got to be somewhere in the 30% range, 35%. And I think if you do that, and if it's effective, that's fine. Because a lot of the running game that this offense has is the little short, complete passes to Evan Ingram, hitting Etienne out of the backfield. I mean, some of those things are really essentially kind of runs for this offense. So It's a great debate, and we all want to have a team that can come out and just motor grade, 4.5 yards a carry and, rack up 150 yards a game and then, have great balance and be like the 49ers. But right now, that's just not the style of this offense, and it's not going to – I don't think it's going to change just because that's not the way this offense is designed.
Yeah, by the way, for the guy who mentioned Tank Bigsby maybe playing special teams, I looked up the snaps.
He does
1 on offense, 2 on special teams.
Yeah, he doesn't play special teams.
No, very, very little at least. All right, back to the lines we go. Steve on the north side on the All Pro Roofing phone lines on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing? Duval. What's up, Jeff? I got a question. They say find the positive in the negative. Is there anything you see positive with what's going on through the down spurts that we're going through? Like, is it we do move the ball somewhat or we get caught up in the red zone? I know that's probably like one thing that you might say, but other than that, do you see any good that we're doing in our sign-out?
I didn't hear the first part of this question.
Do you see anything good that they're doing during this down run? He mentioned red zone, like they're at least effective getting into the red zone, it feels like right now, but beyond that, is there anything else that you like about the team?
Well, look, I like what this team is doing at times, but the consistency is the biggest problem. For example, like this past game, I like the way that the defense prevented the big play. I like that they got a takeaway, okay? They obviously didn't corral Lamar Jackson, but it wasn't as if that killed them. I mean, they were staying in the ballgame. If the offense was able to pay some dividends back on the defensive stops in this ballgame, it's okay to give up some rush yards. The offense, look, you put up over 30 points 2 weeks in which you lost. So, I mean, I like that aspect of it, and then the defense had communication breakdowns. The hardest thing in the world about this level of football is the consistency week in and week out and eliminating the mistakes through changes of lineups, different opponents, different schemes, and that's hard to do. And right now there's not consistency with this football team. It seems like it's a little bit of a merry-go-round, so to speak, of mistakes, where they take turns in different categories or different areas or aspects of this football team. Just a perfect example. I mean, we never imagined that this team would miss 2 field goals in a home game, right? Where the weather conditions are not great, but they're not terrible.
Yeah.
Now, whoever would have thought that out of Brandon McManus? I mean, not me.
He struggled in 2 home games this year.
Well,
he's been great outside of that, basically.
The one that he made of the extra point, did you see the trajectory of that one?
It was trying to miss.
It was hooking to the left, around the post, the left post, so.
Don't you get 2 points for that? Like, if you can curve it behind the post, don't you get an extra point?
I'm all for it, Tony.
You should.
Yeah, look, I recognize that. He had a push fade on the first one, Tone, and hit the post. I understand the overcompensation. I'm going to hook that one in the lake on the next shot, too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was that simple or not. But, Lux, let's get another question in before we hit the break here. Eric in Jacksonville is on the line. Eric, you're on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, morning, guys. Jeff, I'm curious, pre-snap routine, it just seems like, I know we've given a lot of liberty to Trevor to make some changes, make a line adjustment, but, with the battered offensive line that we got, it just feels like the last few games, maybe even more so the trend of the season has been he's taken a lot of time that could use some rhythm.
Well, look, the management of the offense, for the most part, has been really good by Trevor. Haven't had a ton of delay of games. Obviously, he had the one issue. It was even after the clock stoppage. You're like, wait a minute, what's going on with that? But for the most part, the operation of the offense, I think this year has been pretty good. And that's something that I think Trevor does a really good job with. The one thing that is hurting this offense is the self-inflicted penalties that they're having. This past game, the 3 false starts were just like, wait a minute, what are we doing? Can't have that. Evan had one. I think Sheriff had one. And who had the other one? Walker Little.
Yeah.
Had 3 false starts in that ball game. And then also if you have penalties during the play itself, then you're all of a sudden looking at being behind the sticks a little bit on down and distance, and that's not good for this offense, But I like the way the offense is operating as far as at the line of scrimmage and the way that they're giving themselves plenty of time. Trevor has had plenty of time to change the play. This past game, he had plenty of time to vary the cadence. The issue is that his offensive mates were not ready for the variation of the cadence, and that's a little bit of a problem. You've got to be able to have that weapon in your arsenal. Your quarterback's got to be able to use hard count and change of cadence.
Especially at home.
At home, absolutely. And your offense, the rest of your offensive guys, got to be ready for that. And I think part of the change of cadence led to the false starts in this game, that's not a good thing.
All right, bottom of the hours here. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with more of your questions on the All Pro Roofing phone lines if you want to get in there. The text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Got a bunch of them on social media for Jeff Lageman as well. And hopefully we can figure out a formula that the Jaguars can at least piece together a victory against the Tampa Bay Bucks and stop the bleeding this Sunday. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jeff Lageman, and Dylan Denmark on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Anytime you're on the go in Duval, and that's a lot, right? Duval is so spread out. Anytime you think it's a quick trip to the store, might end up taking you 30 minutes. Well, anywhere you're going in Duval, you're going to swing by a gate station. You can fill up the car, but most importantly, you can fill up your belly. Fuel your body with delicious Dandy Food sandwiches, subs, breakfast items, light lunchtime wraps, salads, protein packs, you name it. If it's convenient, delicious, high-quality food on the go, Dandy's got your back. Tuna salad, that's my line right there. I'm going to go to it every single time. But you could try a different Dandy variety every day, and you wouldn't even hit all of them in a month. So swing into a gate station, head to the Fresh Case, and know that everything Dandy makes, and they're a local company, by the way, they make it with the highest quality ingredients, locally sourced as often as possible. Keep it fresh and keep the prices down. When you're hungry in Duval, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
1010XL Jaguars Today Tuesday is brought to you by Dream Finders Homes. Homes built to fit your lifestyle.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios. They know their sports.
So let's go out there and play our best.
And so do you.
Lauren, Taylor, and Mia.
Helmets and Heels.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
And presented by Underwood Jewelers.
And First Coast Lighting and Fans. Tuesday nights at 6 on 1010XL.
Right now, save big at Key Buick GMC, like $14,000 off of all new GMC trucks. Rates as low as 0.9% for 36 months, 3.9% for 48 months, 4.9% up to 60 months, and 6.9% APR for 72 months. No payments up to 90 days. As always, whenever you purchase a new vehicle from Key Buick GMC, it comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty. Across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 46th annual holiday sale now with up to 30% off on GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. We're not a big box store. We're your local family jeweler with an amazing hand-picked inventory for every budget. And with interest-free financing, enjoy beautiful jewelry with a low monthly payment. Support your local family jeweler this Christmas with up to 40% off our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Open 7 days a week in December.
Oh, the holidays. Sitting around the house, sharing stories and relaxing with family. There's nothing like the holidays. Don't ruin your holiday season with a septic emergency. Plan ahead and get your septic tank pumped out now. Duck Duck Rooter Septic Services can be there this week. Go ahead, give Duck Duck Rooter a call and relax.
When you're stuck, call the duck. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Hi, Jags fans. Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Get more bark out of your dogs. I'm Andrew Gibson. I'll bring you the Bulldog Report all season long on 1010XL.
Brought to you by Travis Cummings and the Bailey Group.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World,
simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
You can't have exceptional water quality without the hefty price. With Kanaya Water Systems, a premium, high-quality water and filtration system that won't leave your wallet taking an L. Search KENAI Water Jacksonville.
Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving, they can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Bud Light and everyone at Anheuser-Busch want to remind you to get home safely every time. People are counting on you, on the road and at home. Plan ahead with safe rides and don't forget to hydrate between beers. Bud Light encourages everyone to enjoy responsibly and socialize safely.
The YMCA provides after-school care programs for kindergartners through middle school at over 40 sites across the First Coast. Our programs focus on safety, health, social and emotional growth, and academic enhancement. At the Y, your child can build self-reliance, get help with schoolwork, explore new talents, and develop healthy relationships with others, all in a safe, nurturing environment. Plus, financial assistance is available. Learn more at fcymca.org.
This is Phil and Megan Vasali, owners of Players Grill. We'd like to wish the Jacksonville community a happy and safe holiday season.
Merry Christmas from our family to yours, and we hope to see you soon at Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Walker tallied up 4 tackles, including 1 sack in the Sunday night primetime game against the Ravens. Walker continues to prove why he was the first overall selection of the 2022 draft class, and head coach Doug Peterson spoke highly of his performance.
I thought he played really well. You know, he was able to collapse the pocket. He was around the quarterback quite a bit, chasing some plays down from behind. I mean, I just thought he played the type of ball that, very capable of playing, something to build off of, and build from with him. But yeah, I even thought the whole D-line as a group played well, controlled the line of scrimmage, for most of the game.
Doug Peterson, visit Jaguars.com for more. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Mr. Sparky of the First Coast, your on-time electrician on 1010XL.
All right, Check the Tape Tuesday rolls on here on 1010XL. Jags on their first and hopefully only 3-game losing streak of the season, and heading to Tampa on Sunday, still clinging by their fingernails to first place with the Colts and the Texans right there with them at 8-6, and it does not get any easier in the National Football League. So, guys, let's jump back into it at 641-1010. A lot of people have questions. Jeff, very understandable based on the current state of affairs. So let's head out to Bill in San Jose next up this morning on 1010XL. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Good morning, Bill.
We're good. Tony's good, too.
Good. Tony's good, too.
Pockets is, too.
Go ahead, Bill.
I have a question about the broadcast of the game. It was Sunday Night Football, prime time, and it was probably the worst telecast I've experienced in a long time. They kept having missing plays. The screen would lock up, and they'd come back 3, 4, 5 seconds later, and I didn't know if you were aware of it or if you could give me an explanation as to what happened.
Well, I couldn't tell you what was going on with the broadcast personally because we're calling the game. Mike, did you see the TV?
I did notice a glitch or two. There were a couple of glitches, and when you see, I don't know, is that like internally? Is that in the building? You know what I mean? So, and plus we watch what is called the in-house feed, which is just like a raw feed of what you're getting on TV, but it doesn't cut to commercial. You get some different angles, and it's more synced up with the radio broadcast, which is why we try to watch that. So I really couldn't tell you. I hadn't heard that, but that's one that's outside our pay grade as far as that one
and
goes.
if it was off in any sorts, I mean, look, NBC typically does an amazing job with broadcasts, the number of camera angles that they have. I mean, everything is typically quality, so not exactly sure what was going on.
Speaking of the number of camera angles that they
Yes.
have, how was that not a touchdown for Calvin Ridley?
Yeah, great question. And I just think because of the call on the field, they were hesitant to change it. But I mean, when you looked at the video evidence and you freeze it, it really looked like a catch. But if you had just a little closer look of the white line underneath of his hip, I think they would have done it. But they just didn't have that look. So it was hard to say to have, you've got to have definitive, overwhelming evidence to overturn the call on the field. And I don't know if they felt like they had it. I thought it was a catch. I mean,
I did too. And, from what we heard, what they discussed on the broadcast, is it Terry McCauley who does the NBC?
I believe it's Terry, yeah.
As the rules guy, that he thought it was a catch. Too, that he thought they blew it on the replay.
That was an amazing catch, by the way. In the broadcast, I was like, oh, my gosh, he dropped it. But then all
Right,
of a sudden,
but-
when you saw the
Yeah.
replay, it was deflected, and the concentration that Calvin had on that just to find a way to catch it, whether he was inbounds or not, was amazing itself. But then all of a sudden, when they showed the replay, I'm like, oh, my God. It not only got deflected, but I think he caught it and stayed in bounds. How in the world do you do that on that play? But I thought he did, but the other thing too, like the roughing that wasn't called on McManus.
Yeah,
I thought that was a roughing, but if you look at it, his plant leg wasn't hit, and a lot of times the officials look at, was the plant leg hit or was it the kick leg coming down, because the kicker can manipulate that leg a lot to make it look like or appear that there
Kinda
was a
landed
lot
on a
of contact.
guy, yeah.
Right. So I think that's what they were thinking on that.
Yeah, that seemed like a candidate for the 5-yard running into the kicker variety right there, because you watch that replay, McManus swings his leg, it's past like the point where his other leg is, and the guy kind of rolls into it. I don't know what else McManus could have done to get out of the way at that point. But
was it Wingard that got the complete acting job
Yeah.
of the game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was fantastic.
He scored on the next play, throwing at Wingard, but
That's
he
right.
he did draw the penalty. Yeah.
We did say in the studio, don't give up the touchdown on this play, Wingard. And, but it was a pretty good job right there. He really sold me, Logs, because when I saw the replay, I'm like, oh, that's terrible, right? in a funny way. But
Yes.
the guy looked like he gave him a body check is what he made it look like.
Was the kick after that? I'm thinking makeup call if so.
No, the kick was on the opening drive,
Okay,
right?
I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
which
the
kick
Jags
it was.
opening drive, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was much later in the game.
So maybe it was a makeup from the other way,
Yeah,
right?
and I'll
Well,
say
we should have
for-
called that one on McManus.
For McManus and whether or not it should be a penalty, I think if a quarterback gets rolled into like that 3 seconds after a throw, they might throw the flag, right? Like that's the way quarterbacks are being
No doubt.
protected in the league right now, but kickers maybe not so
Well,
much.
look, there was as you bring that up, protecting quarterbacks. You remember when Trevor was running down the field and Roquan Smith hits him? I mean, did he not raise the forearm to the head and neck area of
It was
Trevor?
close, yeah.
I thought it was very clear that he took a forearm and took it across the head of Trevor. Now, it wasn't a massive blow that made the head snap or anything like that, but just the simple motion of the arm coming up to the head and neck area of a quarterback while he's running, or any runner, particularly at that time. To me, I'd like to see what happens this week from a fine standpoint, because if I'm the Jaguars, I'm turning that play in. Why was this not called? Why does this why are we not protecting our quarterback in this situation?
All right, back to the lines we go on a Check the Tape Tuesday, 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines. Darren on the west side is next up. What's up, Darren?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Quick question and quick comment for Jeff. Quick comment is, I'll just be honest with you guys. If I told my whole entire crew that I was hanging out with at work on the Friday that if I was the Jags coach, I would have set all of my injured players, because we're in the same identical spot where we are right now, except now we've got more injuries, and I would have rested my offensive linemen, and I'm just telling you that's what I would have done. And I know a lot of people, and y'all will probably disagree with me, but that's what I would have done on Sunday night. And my question for Jeff is, Jeff, with this young team, with the little success that we have had over the last several years, do you feel like they're playing with a lot of pressure on them? We were 8-3, and now all of a sudden the pressure is building on them, and I'll hang up and listen, guys. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Well, first of all, the observation about setting the offensive line, and I think that coaches, they all take that into consideration. The biggest thing that they're thinking about is if we play them this week, is it going to make it worse? And a lot of that is a medical answer, but it's also requires the input of the player. So I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate that, and that's a great topic of discussion. But I think that this coaching staff and the players are making the right decisions to where there is no long-term type of impact.
And there's that balance, right? Because if you go to – you don't want any of your guys that maybe it would help them to have a week off, but you don't want to go to any of those guys in that room and say, do you need a week off? And them go, yeah, I need a week off. Like, you want all your guys to be like, no, I'm playing. Right? Like, that's the attitude that you need from them. So if they're not going to play, it has to be the medical staff or somebody telling you they can make it significantly worse this week if they go. And if you're not getting that, they play.
That's right. And look, they've got a great medical staff. I mean, great medical staff. So I think that they do a very good job with that. Now, what was the second part of his question there?
Forget.
Are we both going to, all three of us going to draw a blank on that?
All four of us.
Yeah.
All four of us. You two pockets.
I got nothing.
All right. Gosh, we're so bad.
But it just looks, in general, I mean, that's just not the way it's done, right, in football. Like, if you can play, rarely. Now, it'd be like a different story like last year, knowing that no matter what happened in Week 17, it absolutely didn't matter, that Week 18 was going to determine the AFC South, right? And that was a one-game scenario, and that was, in fact, the scenario. This one here, I mean, I don't think – you've got to win a few games, and this is an opportunity to win one of those games. And I am of the mind, watching it, that team was very gettable on Sunday night if the Jags don't continually shoot themselves in the foot. It's not a guarantee that they're going to win. So I just don't think that NFL mentality is going to allow this team right now, who came in at 8-5, to go, oh, yeah, the Ravens are unstoppable. Let's rest our players because we're not going to win anyway. NFL people generally are just not wired that way, right?
Right, and here, let me jump back because I remember now, Mike, because I don't want to forget.
Good.
Okay, the question was about a young team dealing with pressure in this situation. Are they putting too much pressure on themselves?
Yes.
And I don't think that this is a team that is putting pressure on themselves, no more than anything anything else. I mean, look, you always have pressure. The NFL is one of the most pressure-packed jobs that there is, and for a lot of reasons, because you're paid to win games. And when you're not winning games or you get on a 3-game losing streak, you know the old saying is it runs downhill, and sometimes it ends up in the player's lap, and that's just part of the game, and it's part of the business, and it's also hard sometimes from an emotional standpoint because the pressure is there, but then also you have a lot of discomfort, whether it's emotional, mental, and then also physical, all because of the occasion that you're dealing with. But look, this football team I think is fine, and here's the reality. At the end of the day, even though you've lost 3 consecutive games, you are the number 4 seed. You control your own destiny, okay? And what more could you ask for?
You play for this pressure.
Yes. I mean,
this is why you want to be in the league.
You sweat and bleed and sustain injuries and everything else and play through all that stuff for the opportunity in which you are right now. With 3 games remaining, with an opportunity to clinch the AFC South, to ensure yourself a home playoff game. This is why you do all of that work. This is what you're getting paid dollars for. I mean, this is fun. This is the fun aspect of the game. And so I think as a player, you got to enjoy the moment. And here's the other thing. You've got a really good coach in Doug Peterson, who's been there. He's done that. I think he does a great job of handling this roster, of handling this football team. And it's going to be a challenge for him. And that's just part of the deal. But I think also as Jaguar fans, I'm looking forward because I am a fan at the end of the day. I'm looking forward to see what this team can do with the 3 games remaining and to see if they can seize the moment. Because you know what? You can forget about a 3-game losing streak very quickly if all of a sudden this team starts to play well.
I don't disagree. I think if you have a resounding victory this week, you might forget about it, right? Because I think a lot of people, myself included, don't feel great about all the circumstances surrounding this team health-wise, particularly at quarterback. And Tampa's won 3 in a row, and Baker Mayfield is red hot right now, and that team has a lot to play for as well. So beat the Bucs, and then you're going to look and go, oh, we're going to beat the Panthers, right? And then, you'll see where the chips fall, and maybe along the way, each of Indy and Houston pick up a loss, and then all of a sudden you're in a lot more control of the division. But as Tony and I were talking about yesterday, you got to win. You got to take care of your business, and all the rest will take care of itself. Right, halfway home on a Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman. You can continue to get in at 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines. We'll check in on the text line as well, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, and a bunch of questions that we've compiled here on social media for Jeff as we enter hour 2 of Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1010XL, Jaguars Today Tuesday.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios. Brought to you by Dream Finders Homes, official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Every good game day begins with a great tailgate.
This crowd is electric.
Supersize your tailgate with 1010XL at Southern Steer Butcher. It's the ultimate tailgate. Enter at 1010XL.com.
Did you know the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid never needs to be plugged in? The onboard system charges the batteries for you. When you think Honda, think hybrid. Good for the environment, great for your budget. Visit your local Honda dealer to experience the CR-V of the future today.
Visionaries, builders, and doers, are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand-new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Look, Christmas is almost here. It's time to get that home repair project you've been putting off done before the family comes over. Let First Coast Home Pros Handyman Services tackle the honey-do list for you. FirstCoastHomePros.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous, don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I had one of those aha moments last week. During my Awaken 180 weekly weigh-in, I only lost 2.5 pounds. My coach, Krista, reviewed my week and pointed out that I had skipped a few meals. Turns out, skipping meals was actually slowing down my weight loss, not speeding it up. Who would have thought? And get this, she also advised eating more fats, yep, the good stuff like butter and oil, to get me back to losing 4 to 5 pounds per week. Now here I am, closing in on 30 pounds lost with Awaken 180 weight loss. It's these kinds of insights you just don't get when you're flying solo. That's the beauty of Awaken 180. The coaches aren't just cheerleaders. They're like your personal weight loss strategists, making sure you stay the course and reach your goals. It's not just about shedding pounds. It's about learning the how, so you can keep it off for life. Get your consultation on the calendar this month and get ready to start the new year with a proven plan. Reserve it online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Do you want to take your business to the next level? Need to understand what trends are going on in your industry? How to position your company for growth in the future? Who else should you know in your industry? Raymond James Investment Bankers make relationships into potential acquisition ideas, suppliers, distributors, partners. Let Addison Wealth Advisors guide you through the process. Visit addisonadvisors.com. Addison Wealth Advisors, your goals, our expertise. Raymond James and Associates Incorporated, member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC.
Are you ready for some postseason football in Jacksonville? Be at Everbank Stadium as Trevor Lawrence leads the Jaguars in a postseason push for the Lombardi Trophy. Don't miss a single moment of the action at the bank this postseason. Secure your seats for the first round now by going to jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at the bank this January.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com/shadows. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
It's J.J. Gray's Blackwater Soul Review at St. Augustine Amphitheater, May 25th and 26th. Catch live performances from artists like J.J. Gray and Mofro, Lucero, the Almond Betts Band, American Aquarium, G Love and Special Sauce, and more. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com. May 25th and 26th, live at St. Augustine Amphitheater.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Olstein's Volkswagen. Former Oregon Duck defensive back Traquez Bridges announced his decision Monday via a Twitter post that he would be heading to Gainesville to the University of Florida. He is one of 3 that has committed to the Gators via the portal. Florida and Michigan will play in the opener of the second Jumpman Invitational this evening in Charlotte, North Carolina. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. The Gators have won a season-high 3 straight and are playing a 3rd straight neutral site game. Phil Still, nationally known as one of the best college football analysts in the country, plays 5 Gators on his postseason SEC All-Conference team. Jimmy Crenshaw, Montrell Johnson Jr., Ricky Pearsall, Rocco Underwood, and Princely Uman-Mielen made the list for their play during the 2023 season. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
At 11:02, it's 48 degrees. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman is brought to you by Mr. Sparky of the First Coast, your on-time electrician on 1010XL.
All right, hour 2 of Jaguars Today. Check the Tape Tuesday. Looking back at the carnage that was versus the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Wonder when the next time we'll see Sunday Night Football at Everbank Stadium.
Win the division and put some pressure on them to get him back on next year.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right? Finish the deal. Do not collapse and miss the playoffs. Jacksonville Jaguars. Tony, why don't you give us a little sampling of what the mood is over there on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures?
Oh, it's a sunny place.
It always is, right? I'm glad you're in charge of that today.
Over on the text line, we got a bunch of questions that are relating to the run game in a bunch of different ways, right? And it's not ideas that we don't see a bunch. You know, some people saying, should they add a fullback? Should they change the 5 starting guys on the offensive line? I'll ask it this way, Jeff, with so many different people taking different angles at it. What can they do to help fix their problems in the run game right now with the options that they currently have in-house? Because there's nothing outside the building that's going to help them. They got what they got. What can they do to improve in that area starting now?
Well, I think in what we were just talking during the break there that you're going to have Cam Robinson eligible to get back in the next week or two, which I think would give you a more physical left tackle and also hopefully a healthier left tackle. With Walker Little dealing with the hamstring right now, hopefully the health of Ezra Cleveland continues to trend in a positive direction. He kind of gutted through that, but number one is better performance up front. And I think at some point you may even consider, if you get Cam back and you got Ezra and Sheriff and Anton at right tackle, you may even consider changing out the center, putting Shatley in at center to see if you can get a little bit stronger performance in the middle of your offensive line. I think that is probably an option. You can't change the scheme. And although everybody's like, get a fullback and let's play 2 tight ends. Look, you are what you are. You're going to run the offense that you have, and it's too late to change scheme. So right now you just got to maximize what you're doing right now. And part of that also is staying committed to it when you need to, not just staying committed to it just because, we need to stay committed to it. We're down by 14 in the fourth quarter. We're going to stay committed to the run. No, that's not what you do.
How much have they been hurt by Britton Strange not being available in the last 3 weeks in the run game?
He's one of your best blockers, and I know that everybody's like, oh, how can we draft a blocking tight end with a second-round pick? Look, the guy's a good player, good blocker. I think in time he will evolve into more of a wide receiver because he's a very capable wide receiver. He's got talent. And with the foot injury now, what is this, the third game that he just missed with a foot? Foots are kind of interesting injuries in that look, it's hard to rest a foot and to get it better because everything you do requires you to put weight on a foot.
Yeah.
And so that's a little bit of an unknown. I mean, one of the worst injuries that I ever had was a foot injury, and it completely wiped me out for the end of the season back in '95, the first year of the franchise. So, but if you can get him back, that would help. Luke Farrell and him, I think that combination of those two guys, and then having Evan Ingram even at times in a 3 tight end set where he can block more on the perimeter and some of the back end guys, that's a good combination to have. But getting everybody back healthy. When I say healthy, health is always relative at this point in the season.
Well, as you mentioned, and I'm not disagreeing with you here, but as you mentioned, getting everyone back. You said Cam Robinson, Ezra Cleveland, right side. We'll see about center. Obviously, that puts Walker Little on the bench, right? So Walker Little is, I guess, you're not your best left tackle option or your best left guard option at the moment. We've been watching the Cam Robinson contract situation for several off seasons, wondering how long it's going to continue to play out this way with Little waiting in the wings. $21 million plus cap hit for Cam next year if he's on the roster. It's only 5 if you move on from him. What's the future of Walker Little if at this point he hasn't shown he's the best option at either one of those spots?
Well, he's not the best. When I say he's not the best option right now, Mike, that's mainly because of health.
Okay, do you think he's a better if everyone's fully healthy, who are your best 2 right now on the left side?
I think Ezra's your best guard. And
Okay.
and I think it's a coin flip when you talk about left tackle. But what are you looking for? I think if you're looking for somebody that's got a little edge and pass protection, I would say Walker Little. If you're looking for somebody that maybe has a little bit of edge, finesse, attitude in the run game, then you would probably go Cam Robinson. In a perfect world, you'd like to find a way to get all those guys on the field, and maybe part of the answer to that is Walker Little going to the right side. When I say right side, I'm talking about maybe even right guard in the future. If you're looking ahead, which we can do that here, I think that the future left tackle is Anton Harrison. I do. I mean, the guy's got feet that's just fantastic, and that's his natural position. I would say Ezra Cleveland at left guard. Center is to be determined. Right guard is to be determined. And then right tackle, I would love to see Cam and he's a perfect right tackle. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he's got an attitude, he plays hurt, he's got great leadership, he's a veteran guy. But the question is, can you make all of that happen looking into the future with some of the contract situations that you're going to be dealing with Trevor Lawrence and others? I don't know the answer to that because I don't know the numbers. But if you're just ignoring the numbers, love to keep them all. Okay, Walker Little is a swing guy or starting right guard, and then having Cam at right tackle. And question of that also brings up another question. Is that happiness for him? Moving a guy
for Walker Little as well, who has got to realize that, if he's seen as a competent left tackle, he's going to make more money than he is playing right guard.
No doubt.
Right? So, yeah, and look, we don't want to – and Tony and I were saying yesterday, let's worry about the offseason in the offseason. It was just interesting that you brought it up, and that was the way you went through it, so I just wanted to deviate from that for a moment and kind of see what your thoughts were.
By the way, Demps, the Jags are signing a quarterback. Quarterback who's been here before. They are signing E.J. Perry to their practice squad. So
that could have gone a lot of ways there, Tony. Could have gone a lot of ways right there.
It absolutely could. And so, Logs, I'll ask you. It's something that we discussed a lot on the show yesterday. It was obviously an issue again on Sunday. How can Trevor Lawrence's issue with fumbling the football get fixed?
Stop trying to do too much. Because if you look at both of those plays that he fumbled in the game, he was trying to do too much. 3rd and 17, you're not going to make it, so just slide and kick the field goal. And then on the 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, there was nothing there. Just eat it, okay, or throw it away. And that's just situational awareness, I think, in both of those things, or both of those cases. Better decision-making, I think, solves a lot of that.
Don't you think, though, to me, I thought he was trying to slide. When he fumbled the ball, it looked like he's pulling the ball in with his left arm. He's going to brace it against his chest as he's getting ready to throw his feet out in front of him. And as he's pulling it towards his chest, he just lost the grip on the football. I don't know. It's not a natural motion to slide with two hands around the ball, right? So I really think, Logs, that he was trying to, you saw – we're saying the same thing. It's 3rd and 17. We're yelling at him, get down, get down, get down. We got to get 3 points out of this. And watching that replay over and over and over again, that's what it looks like to me, that it was just a physical mistake. I didn't think it was a mental mistake. I think he knew he had to get down there. I just think he just lost control of the football, or did you not see it that way?
I don't know. It's hard to take a peek into his mind. A little bit looked like that it was an indecisive moment of what to do next once he realized that there really wasn't anything that was going to be happening. But the reality is you just got to keep that from happening and protect the ball. The one thing that we can all see on that play, the ball was not tucked away. The ball was being held as if he could be a possible thrower. In that case, look, how far into the play was he? Look, you can't keep holding the ball like that.
I hear what you're saying. I just think I do think you're right. He kind of got in between on when to make the decision and do I dive forward, do I slide? But I do think at the last second he, just looking at the body language, it looked to me like that motion was one that he's getting ready to start a slide. Regardless of, if he just hangs on to the ball there, Logs, even if he ends up taking a big hit, you don't want him to take the big hit. It's an awkward moment, but at least you survived to get the points on the board. So anyway, we've beat that into the ground for 2 days, and deservedly so, but that's where things stand with that play. Let me get one in here from social media before we hit our next break, Logs. See if you agree with this, but in terms of Evan Ingram and his usage now, let's presume Zay Jones doesn't play this week with the hamstring issue. So you got Ridley at the top of the wide receiver depth chart, a lot unproven behind him. By the way, Jamal Agnew only played 10 offensive snaps in this game. You know what I mean? It's not he just produced on those snaps. But Evan Ingram, right, got to be a big target for Trevor Lawrence. So on Twitter from PMAC, he said, why does the passing offense not utilize the middle of the field? Ingram seems ideal for seam routes. Do you agree with that? Like, he runs a lot of crossers and stuff like that, but getting him downfield, down the seam, is that something the Jaguars should expand on, in your opinion?
Yes, because he's one of those guys that's left that you trust completely. At the start of the season, you trust Zay, you like Christian, and you trust him. Calvin Ridley had to kind of earn his way. Jamal, you trusted him. But Evan's the guy that you really trust, and he's going to be where he needs to be. His catch percentage is ridiculously high. I think, can they get him more involved? Absolutely. Especially being that you're looking at not having Zay and Christian, and Calvin Ridley is still a work in progress. Find more creative ways to get the ball to the ones you trust, and Evan falls into that category. By the way, his catch percentage, which is like 80.7, the highest catch percentage of any receiver in the top 20 in the National Football League. And he's now, what does he have reception-wise now? He's
84?
88 now.
88, that's right. Yeah.
88 receptions. He's going to break which is a new franchise record for tight ends and receptions. And I know he needed like 66 yards, which he did not get this past week, to end up breaking his own record of receiving yards. But he's going to eventually get that. He's a great player, love him, and I wish defenses played him more like a true tight end. That's the one issue, when people talk about getting Evan the ball more, and like I said, I'm all for it. If defenses treated him more like a true tight end, it would open up a lot of opportunities. But opposing teams treat him like a wide receiver. They match him up with DBs. And so you wish you had a little different matchup with him week in and week out.
Yeah, but they're not dummies, right? That's the type of player he is. So they're probably smart for doing it. But 12 catches away, Logs, in the final 3 weeks from joining the Jimmy Smith Club.
That's right.
He's the only member of the 100 reception club in Jaguar history.
Yeah.
As Tony looked it up the other day, did it twice, Tone.
Yeah, and 17 straight games for Evan Ingram where he's had 4 or more catches.
Yeah, and that's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, how many drops
they
does he
are
have this year?
utilizing him, right? It's just that, maybe they need to expand it a little bit more, but it's not like they're going away from Evan Ingram. He's been a consistent part of any kind of passing game success that they've had since he's gotten here. So anyway, we'll take a timeout on that, and I got a bunch of them that have backlogged here on social media. We'll fire them off to Jeff Logman, and still plenty of time for you to get in. A couple more segments to go. 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines, or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures on a Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Logman, Tony Smith, I'm Mike Dempsey on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes from the JOI Studios at 1010XL. JOI, where the pros go. What does ESPN Jaguars reporter Mike DeRocco have to say about the Jags?
I want details, and I want them right now.
Find out every Thursday on Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Brought to you by Lloyd's Heating and Air on 1010XL.
Hey, folks. If you want to add value to your home without breaking the piggy bank, Shark Coatings offers multiple finance options to meet your budget. Like a smaller garage for as low as $45 per month, or a standard 2-car garage around $58 a month. And a 4-car driveway with a walkway is only $82 a month. Of course, each property is unique and our design consultants can give you exact pricing for your project. But here's a way to only spend a little each month for the Shark coatings your concrete floors need now. Shark Coatings, we're ready when you are.
When a plumbing or septic emergency happens, you want to have your ducks in a row with a company you can trust. Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is the #1 company on the First Coast. Check out our reviews online, duckduckrooter.com.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Hey, Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to Everbank Field is on JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jacksonville. Passes start at $10 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. Visit JTAFLA.com for full details. The JTA Game Day Express, where you're winning before the game even starts. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
If you are a fan of the U, listen for the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
I'm JJ LaSelva, and I bring you news and notes you need to know from Miami every week on the Hurricane Report.
On 1010XL, Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
It's easy to get caught up in the holiday scramble, but as we near the end of the year, let's focus on what makes America great, our faith and freedom. Hello, it's Congressman Aaron Bean, and this year I've been busy delivering results for you, from helping with passports and the VA to recovering thousands of dollars in owed benefits from the IRS and Social Security. My team has worked hard to take care of constituents in Northeast Florida. Serving you is what we do. Visit bean.house.gov. This is Congressman Aaron Bean wishing you a blessed holiday season. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
If you're getting engaged this holiday season, celebrating an anniversary, birthday, or shopping early for the holidays,
It's Beard's Diamonds' incredible Christmas sale.
everything store-wide is on sale up to an unbelievable 43% off.
Now till December 24th.
At the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Now the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Teal and Black were looking for a bright spot offensively under the bright lights at the bank, and a special return from a special star was just what the doctor ordered for Jacksonville. In the third quarter, Trevor Lawrence would find Jamal Agnew for a 65-yard touchdown, making the score 10-7 with 7:15 left in the period. The Agnew score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hey everyone, Jason Parker, CEO of Performance Painting here. 'Tis the season for giving gifts, and this year our gift to you is waiving the power washing fee when prepping to paint your commercial building or home exterior. That's a $500 to $3,000 savings back in your pocket depending on the square footage. And no matter who you hire, make sure they power wash using the proper methods, which includes being careful around your expensive windows. Learn more at performancepaintingjacks.com or call today at 849-2499.
Performance Painting! Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty, a proud partner of the Jaguars. Head on over to Cruiser's Grill in Jacks Beach, and you can enjoy pours of Brackish Vodka for only $5. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman Tuesday is brought to you by Mr. Sparky of the First Coast, your on-time electrician on 1010XL.
All right, this is a funny one to me in the YouTube chat right now, Tone. We don't delve into there too often if you think the text line's bad. Belichick is playing chess while Balky is playing checkers that he claimed Nathan Rourke just to expose the idiocy of not rostering a third quarterback when your first two are injured. Never mind the fact that New England just had their practice squad quarterback claimed by the Chargers, opening up a hole for them on their own depth chart. Forget that part of it. Mm-hmm. But
well,
no,
that's
Belichick's just out there.
He knew.
I mean, come on, man. These people, I don't. You live in conspiracy land. What are you talking about? Anyway, all right,
Feel
Tony,
better, Mike?
No, but I see things like that, and I realize that these are the same people that could be driving right next to you on 95. You have no idea, what their mental capacity is, and we take our lives into our own hands every time we get out there on the roads with these. I'll call them harebrained conspiracy theorists, and that's being polite.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we had somebody on the text line yesterday, Logs, that was asking, do you think that Trevor Lawrence made up the concussion so that he didn't have to go talk to the media after that game? Right?
I mean,
like
and
insane
he's committing to the role, Tony, because he. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But
that's
people,
a little much.
People believe that. At least some do. Hard to believe that they do, but that is apparently the case. All right, Tony, why don't you take us around the rest of the league that is certainly out to get us?
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Well, as we've been mentioning throughout the show, the Patriots have claimed quarterback Nathan Rourke off the waiver wire after he was waived by the Jaguars over the weekend. The Houston Texans have claimed defensive tackle Teair Tart off of waivers after he was let go by the Tennessee Titans. The LA Chargers have signed quarterback Will Grier off of the New England Patriots practice squad. Tennessee quarterback Will Levis had an MRI on Monday to determine the extent of what they were calling an ankle injury going into that. They're now saying a high ankle sprain. His availability for this week and going forward into the season up in the air. Baltimore running back Keaton Mitchell suffered a torn ACL on Sunday night here against the Jaguars. Will miss the remainder of the 2023 NFL season. Cincinnati has placed defensive tackle DJ Reader and cornerback DJ Ivey on injured reserve. The Detroit is expected to open the practice window for cornerback CJ Gardner-Johnson, who has been out since week 2 because of a torn pectoral injury this week. Minnesota is expected to open the 21-day practice window for linebacker Jordan Hicks this week. Kansas City running back Isaiah Pacheco is expected to play after missing the last 2 weeks with a shoulder injury. The Chiefs have placed wide receiver Sky Moore on injured reserve, and Pittsburgh Steelers safety DeMonte Kazee has been suspended for the remainder of the 2023 season for repeated violations of playing rules to protect the health and safety of players after being ejected on Saturday against the Indianapolis Colts for a hit that knocked Michael Pittman out of that game.
Wasn't he the guy he took out Marquise Lee, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Totally cheap shot. I mean, that was a preseason game, if I remember right. He goes low.
Yep.
When Marquise Lee had no chance to defend himself or to react. And that's not the first time that KZ's had plays like that. The guy's been dirty his whole career.
Right, exactly. And then you got, I mean, I get it. Coach is going to defend their guy, but Mike Tomlin's saying he's not a dirty player. I mean, if anybody was like the modern poster child for the dirty player in the NFL right now, it might be him. If you're like, he's not a household name, but if you pay attention to the National Football League, and certainly he got on our radar with the Marquise Lee play. I mean, I'm with you, Logs. Good. No room for that kind of stuff in football or sports in general. Logs got this one on social media coming in for you today from Cobalt Blue. I'll put it this way. Do we need a run game coordinator, right? We've got Bernie Parmalee the running backs coach. You have a passing game coordinator. Is that a step too far? Is that just a reaction to we're trying to come up with a reason or a way to get this running game going better? But is, why do you have a passing game coordinator and you have an offensive coordinator and you just have a running backs coach, or is this just semantics?
A lot of it's just semantics. If you look at the Jaguars staff, though, the offensive staff, I think, is as good as there is in the National Football League. I mean, first of all, your head coach is an offensive-minded guy, been proven, and Press Taylor, I think, is a good coach. You have Phil Rauscher, the offensive line coach, who may not have an title, but he has a lot of input in the run game. Mike McCoy, former head coach, offensive mind, he has a lot of experience. He's the quarterback's coach. I think he also adds a ton to this offensive mindset. So I don't think coaching is a problem. I think that there definitely needs to be what's the way to put this? A renewed focus, I think, on what you're trying to accomplish at times. I think sometimes you can get away with it a little bit, but I think this offensive mindset and the coaching staff does a very good job for the most part.
It certainly looked like the team didn't create any space in the passing game with their receivers winning clean this week. Outside of the Agnew play, downfield, like that's the one play where it felt like they created some space. Did you see the same thing, and how much of an issue has that been this year, or is that something that's creeping up recently?
No, I think in this past game, I thought when there wasn't open guys, that I thought that two things happened. One, when the Ravens played man, they did a very good job of matching up, and we didn't do a very good job of winning. When the Ravens played zone, they do a great job. That's one thing that they do is a great job of matching up in a zone coverage. And a lot of people say, well, what does matching up mean? Well, when you play a zone coverage, you're not out there just covering blades of grass. I mean, you kind of are, but you try to match, okay, the guy that's in your zone or close to your zone if nobody is, in fact, in your zone. And the Ravens give them credit. I mean, look, they're the number 2 defense for a reason. Very good football team, very well coached. And they've got good players across the board, and give them credit.
All right, continue along here with Jeff Loggeman. You know, I know you're talking about this coaching staff and all that. We got a call in the post game on Sunday, something to the effect of, why do we keep going with Press Taylor as the play caller and la la la? And like, we are not doing anything. Doug Peterson has total control over how he assigns the roles on his offensive staff, right? And from our understanding, he's still very involved, even though Press Taylor is the ultimate play caller. Certainly he's involved in putting together the game plan logs. If Doug Peterson felt like his personal touch would make the difference, don't you think he would take those duties back, whether he made a big deal out of it or not?
Well, no, because here's why, Mike. I think every coach has the confidence that they think that, especially head coach who has the offensive mind, that they believe that their personal touch would make a difference. Just that they've got to have that mindset. But I also think as a head coach, you've got to be able to allow your coaches to coach. Once you give them a job and an assignment, you got to let them do their job. Now, if you want to change it in the future, you'll change it in the future. But you don't change things up midstream. But, I mean,
plenty of coaches do, though, Log.
Sure,
hey, I'm taking over play calling duties.
Well, I mean, Sirianni did it kind of in an indirect way, I mean, on the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
But I also believe that there's also something to be said for saying, hey, look, you know, we're committed to this. And then also during the week, Doug is very involved. So it's not like Doug's not involved, and then he's going to say, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and be involved now. I mean, he's involved right now, I'm sure. I mean, I don't.
Oh, I understand. I'm just saying, like, if he felt like there was something, like, if he felt like Press Taylor's play calling was the thing that's holding them back, Doug Peterson's a Super Bowl winning coach, man. He's not just going to sit on his hands. You know what I mean? Right. It's more that I'm kind of agreeing with you that he has empowered his guy. He's involved in the process. He believes in what he's doing. If he thought it was what was holding them back from having success, ultimately all he has to do is decide to make that switch. And, you know, so it's not like we are, you know, by proclamation making Press Taylor the play caller here.
No, and I think it's fair. The fans that we interact with have spoken, right? They've spoken when it was announced that Press Taylor was going to be the play caller. They were like, what are we doing? Like, we got that reaction when they said it week 1, and we're still getting that reaction now from probably the same fans who felt the way that they felt about it going into week 1. Are you seeing anything, Jeff, that makes it for you an issue where Doug Peterson should be stepping in, or do you think Press Taylor's doing the job well enough that the whole thing is just kind of on the same level that it has been all season at this point?
I think he's doing fine. I mean, when I say fine, I think he can be better, okay, but I don't think that you change it, because I think when you change it, it sends the wrong message to your football team that, oh, we're panicking. Okay, look, you're the number 1 seed in your division right now, number 4 seed in the AFC. Let's not overreact, and because if you send that message, then you can't return that message and just kind of tuck it away and bury it in the sand. You know, it's always out there. So no, leave it as it is. And if you want to make a change or something of that nature, changes are for the offseason, in my opinion.
All right, let's get one more call in before the next break, and that is Papa G on the line for Jeff Lageman on a Check the Tape Tuesday. What's up, Papa G?
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? Merry Christmas. Appreciate you taking the call.
Likewise.
Listen, what I would like to see, man, is more passes across the middle. I don't know what's going on with all these sidelines and screens and stuff, but I'd love to see more passes across the middle. And number two, I'm a patient guy. I know I can't wait for the next 3 games, but, boy, look out for next year. I think we're going to be a really, really, really great team next year. And speaking about Calvin Ridley, we got to remember he's been out of the league for 2 years. And Jeff, I guess you can attest that that's a long time to be out of the league, but I don't know if it's communication or just being away from the game or what it is, but I would like to see him get more involved and get things together. Listen, good luck on your redneck hot tub. And tell Merle I said Merry Christmas and give him a dog bone. Talk to y'all later.
Thank you, Papa G. Look, people always kind of want to see different things out of this offense. You know, Papa G talks about the middle of the field. And, yes, I'm a big fan of that. And one thing that we really haven't done a ton of, we saw one completion to Luke Farrell in the middle, but we haven't seen Evan Ingram. How many completions have we seen where he's kind of running the seam? We haven't seen a ton of that. So would you like to see more of that? Sure. You just like to see more successful plays overall as an offense.
Well, their most effective player in the middle of the field is Christian Kirk. He's hurt.
Right. From the slot.
Yeah.
And I think – and here's the reality. Calvin Ridley's probably if you went back and you looked at what he played in the prior years when he played, was in that Christian Kirk role.
Yeah.
And when Christian went down, in a perfect world, you take, hey, Calvin, just move right in there and take that role. I don't think they had the confidence that would be a smooth transition just because of some of the communication issues that they were having with Calvin at the other position. And you'd like to be able to just move him in there and never miss a beat from that position, but that's not what happened.
When you have the game like Calvin had against Cleveland, where a couple of the interceptions, maybe not directly, but at least indirectly, because of what's going on with Calvin Ridley, putting him in the spot where you put Christian Kirk, where so much of what he's doing is option route stuff, right? Like he's playing off the defense. He's got whatever that connection is with Trevor Lawrence to do all that. I can understand the coaching staff looking at it saying, I'm not sure
they're a little
about
reluctant.
Calvin Ridley being put in that kind of spot. We don't have that level of trust with
And
him.
they're not
going to
say that.
have with Kirk, right? And they shouldn't publicly. No. That's behind closed doors. They can have those conversations. Their answer to the question about why isn't Calvin Ridley running more of that is he's not running more of that, right? Like if they felt comfortable with him doing it, he'd be doing it. It's not like they're not trying to win, and they don't see that Calvin Ridley's been effective doing that kind of stuff. For whatever reason, the communication between him and the quarterback right now is not at the level where they feel comfortable asking him to do that.
No, it's not, and will it ever get there? I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future, but I hope it gets better just because he's an excellent route runner.
Yeah.
But they got to get on the same page. You can be a great route runner, but if the quarterback doesn't know what route you're running, or you're not running the right route, or he's not anticipating, doesn't matter. You can have the greatest receiver and greatest quarterback in the world, but if there's no chemistry to where they're on the same page, it doesn't matter.
All right, we'll take our final time out here on a Check the Tape Tuesday. There's still time for you to get in all the various ways, social media, the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, even on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines. Got some social media questions backlogged here for Jeff, and we'll go through them as rapidly as we can before we get done today. On a Check the Tape Tuesday, you're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. I feel lighter. I feel better. I definitely look different, I'll tell you that. Maybe I don't even notice it as much as other people do, but who doesn't like somebody saying, hey, man, you look great. You lost a lot of weight. Yeah, I have, but I've done that before. But Awaken 180 has done something to help me that I have not been able to do, and that's keep the weight off. Once you hit your goal weight with Awaken 180, and I did that in rapid-fire fashion way back in September. It's free support and coaching for life. You hear Matt Hayes talking about it, the little tweaks that they can make in your game plan to maintain or to continue to lose that weight, make Awaken 180 the top of the market. Great coaching and a great outlook, and they're going to work with your lifestyle. You think, oh, man, I can't do this. I'm on the go. I can't eat on this schedule. Trust me, I can do it. You can do it. 10, 20, 50 pounds, it doesn't matter. 844-346-1800. No matter what you have to lose, if you want to lose it and keep it off, call 844-346-1800 or go online to awaken180weightloss.com.
It's a Jaguars Today Tuesday on 1010XL.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes. Your home for Florida Gators basketball is 1010XL.
It's Florida and Michigan from Charlotte. Gators Wolverines. Tonight at 6:30 on 1010 AM. Christmas is on the way. Time to pressure wash your house so it sparkles when the family comes over. First Coast Home Pros pressure washing services are gentle, yet incredibly effective. Let the pros wash all that mold and mildew away. FirstCoastHomePros.com.
Are you fed up with your old, unreliable AC system? How much do you think it's worth now? How about this? Old City Heating and Air will pay you up to $1,200 for your old AC system when you purchase a new AC system this month. Talk about happy holidays. And if cash for your old AC isn't enough, Bold City offers 12 months with no payments and no interest financing. That's a whole year of no payments on your new AC system. Schedule a free estimate today at boldcityac.com.
Whoa, that's crazy. Holy smokes, this is the coolest fireworks show you've done. So what did you change?
I stopped buying fireworks at the Big Chain Fireworks and got everything at Superior Fireworks on Blanding Boulevard.
Right in Orange Park?
Yep, easy. Their store is huge, and I got lower prices by shopping early in the month.
Looks like Superior Fireworks is the way to start our new year with a...
SuperiorFireworks.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jim Kelly, Lauren Sapp, and 1010XL's Pro Bowl offensive lineman Leon Searcy. Hurricane history is loaded with superstars.
Find out what you need to know about the Canes on the Performance Painting Hurricane Report
on 1010XL.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2023 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WonderWorld wants you to do. WonderWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WonderWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WonderWorld can.
And with WonderWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WonderWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WonderWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WonderWorld, and to top it off, WonderWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WonderWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
This is Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade.
Fast Twitch, an energy drink from Gatorade in 6 different flavors, including strawberry watermelon, cool blue, and tropical mango. And available at your local Winn-Dixie.
Start fast with Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade.
On-the-go energy from Gatorade. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. Playing ball and being part of a team. It's a great way to grow up, and I-9 Sports wants to make sure kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. And right now, winter and spring registration is open, so make sure you find out what I-9 Sports offers in your area with new locations like West Connect Athletic Association and Fort Family Field in Bay Meadows. I-9 Sports for boys and girls ages 3 to 17. Log on to i9sports.com and enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount on registration.
Elevate your driving experience with Osteen Volvo Cars of Jacksonville. The Osteen Volvo team is a key piece of our community, and when it comes to cars, excellence is non-negotiable. Visit Osteen Volvo on Phillips Highway, online at osteenvolvo.com.
This is Dr. James Perry, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
As the Jags enter their final 3 games of the season, Coach Peterson still believes their goals are attainable, encouraging the team and fans to stay positive and trust that the Jags will take care of business.
I think so much sometimes we focus on the negative all the time and not the positive. We gotta find the good too and fill our players' heads with positive this time of year, because we feel like we're still a good football team and we play like it at times. Right? It's just offensively didn't look very good at times, but there were moments of you can kind of play with anybody.
Doug Peterson, visit Jaguars.com for more. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman, Tuesday,
is brought to you by
Mr. Sparky of the First Coast, your on-time electrician on 1010XL.
All right, final few minutes here on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Got a couple of callers on the line. We want to get to them quickly. But, Logs, first, let's give you today's question in the form of the 10-10 Take.
10-10 Take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 Take. Brought to you by J&M Roofing Jacksonville, your storm restoration specialists.
All right, Logs, Leland on social media asked, just what is up with Trevor's decision-making? He can throw the ball as well as anybody, but sometimes misses open receivers. The decision-making at the end of the half, things like that. Is this a concern for you, just the situational football awareness for Trevor Lawrence? And if so, how much can you improve that?
Well, I think Doug talked about that this year of working with Trevor to increase his awareness in situational football. And I think that's always a never-ending process with a quarterback. The more experience that they get, the better decisions that they make. And this past game, I kind of have a hard time pointing to this last game as evidence one way or another, just because of the concussion. And I know that they've talked about that it happened on the last drive. I don't believe that. I would say that it happened there at the end of the third quarter. So, So I'm not going to sit there and look at this past game as evidence of a bigger picture situation with Trevor.
Okay, fair enough. There you go. Thank you, Leland, for the question. Let's get out to a couple of calls here before we close up shop today. John is next on the west side on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Hello, John.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Favorite
Christmas.
day of the week. Just a quick question. I'm just curious about something, Jeff. In negotiations, with player negotiations, like with Trevor's negotiations coming up, does he have the swag to like say, listen, unless you guys build me like a wall of Duval, I might take my services elsewhere? I mean, is that something that's even possible? Do other players, has anybody ever done that before? And I just want to get your opinion on that. Thanks for everything, and I'll take your comments off the air. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John, for the question. And I think franchise quarterbacks have tremendous sway. And if Trevor goes into a coach's office or ownership's office and says, hey, look, we need to do a better job in X area, then X area will get addressed. I don't think there's any doubt. That's the kind of sway that franchise quarterbacks have. And obviously, the better they play, the more sway that they have.
Well, we've watched the last 2 years. Aaron Rodgers has controlled what two franchises are or aren't doing, right? Like it's been a big deal what Aaron needed, in these different spots. I don't think Trevor's to that kind of point, but certainly if he expresses, I need this, then the team's going to do what they can to give him what he wants to be as successful as they can be with Trevor. And it's not like if he comes and says, I need a better offensive line, they're going to go, what are you talking about? They're going to go, yeah, you're right.
That's right.
Like that's the situation they're in right now.
Well, it's another example, C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, who hasn't even taken a snap as a starter, kind of insinuated with management of the Houston Texans that, man, I really like working with this Tank Dell guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Tank Dell gets drafted. So I would venture to guess that also when a change was made in at the coaching position in 2021, I would venture to guess, okay, because I wasn't there or a part of it or anything, I would venture to guess that Trevor probably had a little input on that. So I would think going forward he would have input on a lot of matters. But you also still have to make the best decisions for your franchise. You just don't go say, well, you know what, we're going to do everything that he says.
Yeah.
All right, let's get Craig on the north side here quickly to close things up. Craig, what do you got for us, buddy?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Look, in my opinion, for Trevor to make requests, he needs to concentrate more on Trevor, okay? One of the reasons that this offense has sputtered, and no one wants to say it, because if you say anything bad about Trevor Lawrence, people freak out. Okay, he's had an average year, okay? I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying that he sucks, but the bottom line is he's an average starter right now. And all this blame always goes to, what's the receiver's name? Ridley, that he's running the wrong routes. Well, I've seen several occasions where he's open and he doesn't get the ball. I've seen several occasions when Trevor throws him the ball is not throwing the ball accurately to him. So a lot of the blame for this offense sputtering, not just lately, but all year, is the average play of the quarterback, in my opinion.
Well, look, you can always look at the quarterback and say that his performance needs better, and I don't think anybody's sitting there exonerating Trevor of any
haven't been all year.
And but the reality is too is that this is a very quarterback-centric offense, and so if it's going to be a very quarterback-centric offense, then all the components that are involved around the quarterback have to be exactly where they need to be and perform like they need to be. And some of those components haven't been up to where you want them this year. And Trevor's performance hasn't been up to where you want it this year. Look, the reality is I sit there and say that, the fourth quarter of that performance, I would not point to Trevor and say, oh, that was terrible by him, because I think he was dealing with a concussed head. But look, the unforced fumble was early in the ball game.
Yeah.
And some of the decision-making early in the ball game was on him. So it is what it is, and the reality is that we always end up giving a lot of credit to the quarterback when they win, and we give a lot of blame to the quarterback when they lose. But the reality is, too, again, this is probably a little different situation than like San Francisco. San Francisco, you've got so many different components of the offense that people are pointing to as to why it's working. But if you put Trevor in that offense, I think that they perform just as good, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll wrap up this Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Loggeman here in just a moment. But first, let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping 1010XL talking with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
As we say hey to Leon, seriously, I love the listeners out there who think if we would just be willing to be critical of Trevor Lawrence, we would fix all the problems for the Jaguars.
That's going to work. Yeah, absolutely, sure.
Right? Like we haven't been critical of
We
him.
have, absolutely. We've been critical of everybody. No one's barred from criticism when you lose 3 straight.
No.
No one's exempt.
No, and
Leon, who was the best center you ever played with?
Damani Dawson. Easy. Damani Dawson was the best center I ever played with.
Does he have any kids?
Hey, he does. He does have a son, but his son has no interest in football.
No?
He told. I remember him telling me he has a son and a daughter. I remember him telling me, Big Sis, if I ever get a son, he is not playing football. I'm playing football, so he doesn't have to play.
So he doesn't have to play.
Absolutely.
He was so quick.
He was, man. He was so
And strong.
dominant, bro. He was so. Listen, I can tell you, it was one play that I knew that my game needed to be elevated. We ran a toss 30U crack, all right? And at the center, if the Mike linebacker is moved over and he can't get to him, that means he has to pull. And I'm right there, and the tight end comes down, I come around, and I'm pulling, and he's right on my hip. I'm like, wait a minute now. That's not supposed to happen. I'm supposed to beat you around the corner. That he elevated my game because I knew he was that good.
He was the first center that I remember that pulled on a regular basis.
Yes.
And and the snap was money every time. A lot of centers, if you asked them to pull when they were going to snap, they would screw the snap up, or the snap would be off the mark somehow.
Yeah, absolutely.
But him, it was perfect every time.
It was absolutely
perfect. And he could run like a deer.
And let me tell you another thing real quick before I go. Ron Earhart hated him. You know why he hated him?
Damani?
Let me tell you why he hated him. Because he was so freaking nice. Damani would come in the meeting room and say, hey, Coach, how'd I play today? Oh, you played lousy. Oh, well, Coach, I'll do better next time. That's how he was, bro. He was the type of person where he would kill you on the field, but then he would bake you cookies. He was that kind of guy, man. I love him, man. He's
How
one
many
of my
years did he play?
I believe Damani played 13 years for the Steelers.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you got coming up on primetime today?
Well, we got Jazz, we got recruiting, and we got Coach Campbell coming on.
All right. We'll be listening
You
noon
got
to
it.
3.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Leon, the big man, stepping out of the studio. Jeff, what do you got coming up leading up to game day Sunday?
We got Christmas coming, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but until we get to Christmas, Thursday, our regular stuff. We have happy hour with me and JP Shadrick. Also, the Doug Peterson Show, Jaguars All Access on Thursday, the Outdoor Show on Saturday. And then on Sunday, which is Christmas Eve, we have game day kicking off. I think our stuff starts at 10. Obviously, some of the stuff starts before that on this show. But yeah, looking forward to that game. It's not 10. It's 4 o'clock kick.
It's 4
Yeah, bro. I'm like, I ain't coming in that early, man.
Yeah.
Ain't happening.
I kind of like the 4 o'clock kick on Sunday a little bit.
I don't like it.
Not on Christmas Eve, man.
No.
Nope. No, thank you.
Don't love getting home at 9:45 on Christmas Eve.
I hear you. But here's the best thing, though. At least we're in state.
Yeah.
Okay, for those of us that are traveling, I mean,
Yeah.
at least we're in state on Christmas Eve. We could be in Seattle, and then what is it? New England and somebody else, Denver, plays on Christmas Eve at night on the NFL Network.
Mm-hmm.
That would suck.
No good.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. All right, Logs, we appreciate your service as always. Merry Christmas to you and yours, and let's hopefully look back on a win next week. We all enjoy that. Just a quick note for those in the Jaguars Today Fantasy Leagues who have advanced. We have reseeded for the semifinals, as is the case. Always the top seed remaining plays the lowest seed remaining, and good luck to the remaining teams in there. And out of what do we have, 12 teams left, Tony?
Mm-hmm.
You and I have got 4 of them.
Yep.
So there we go. Let's block them out. Let's win all those titles, baby. That's the way we like it around these parts. All right, that's going to do it for us today. For Jeff Logman, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Thanks, as always, for listening to Jaguars Today, and stick around for XL Primetime next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Tuesday on 1010XL.